Okay, good morning, everybody.
Good morning. Can I just eat breakfast really quick and then?
You absolutely can. You can just have it right there at your computer so you can see and hear.
Okay.
But if you stay muted, nobody will hear you chewing, okay, Anthony?
Okay, thank you.
All right, so for those of you tuning in, grab your Wizard Academy bag, grab your art supply bag. The other things we will use this morning are the cauldron from Monday's Exploding Potion. You'll use that. Your pipette from Monday as well, a plastic spoon or popsicle stick or anything to stir with would come in handy, although we do have a popsicle stick in one of the kits. And some water and your food coloring. Always paper towels or wipes when we're doing messy things like potions. So those are not, those are good things to have on hand today. Let me make sure you can see all this.
Excuse me. What if we
Yes,
don't?
sir.
What if we don't have the pot? And what if I can say like my brother's lost it?
Then you can use something else to mix it in. A small cup would work just fine, like the cups we've used for our experiments or our tea. So one of these or one of these, any kind of cup that you have will work just fine, okay? We just need something to mix our potions in and something to mix our potions with. Although in my kit, I do have a large tongue depressor, like a giant overgrown popsicle stick in one of mine. So that would work out fine as well. Okay.
Okay.
All right. Can you all hear me? Can you give me an audio check? Can somebody give me a thumbs up or a yes in the chat? Excellent. Thank you, Anthony. Perfect. Okay, we've got two more rolling in here. Excellent. Okay, so for today, for Wizard Academy, we want our Wizard Academy kit, our art supply bag, and I recommend these items here. We're reusing our cauldron. We are reusing a pipette, something to stir with, although this is not essential, it just makes it easier, a spoon or popsicle stick, some water, your food coloring. If you're not keeping that in your art supply kit, make sure you grab that. And some paper towels or wipes, okay? So for those of you who just rolled in, we were reviewing what we need for today, our Wizard Academy kit, our art supply bag, cauldron. This was from Monday's Exploding Potions. If for some reason you don't have this, like a sibling lost it, then you can use any kind of a cup or dish to mix in. This is simply for mixing our potions. The cauldron just makes it more fun.
Dish? It's kind of cup.
That will work. Yes, that will work. You'll just need to peek down into it. And then our food coloring, you just need one bottle. So if you still have that in your art supply kit, or if you keep that somewhere else, grab that and have it handy. And a cup of water and something to clean up after yourself with, some paper towels or wipes. Okay. So I was looking back trying to see if you've done some more potions since we kicked off the week with potion class on Monday. We have some more potions today and tomorrow. So we'll keep these things handy today and tomorrow. If you don't have your cauldron, just use a cup. Any kind of a small cup or small bowl will work just fine. You don't have to see through it. It's a bonus if you can see a little bit, even if that's just peeking down into it, okay? So give yourself something that you can mix in. Or worst case scenario, we'll just use the portion cups we have. It just make it a little more messy with something that small. Okay?
It's fun
But we
when
don't
you
mind messy.
it, like a potion, like all you see is like brew, right? So it's even
Yes.
fun when you can't see it.
All right. Let's make sure we've got, yes. Okay. Good. Okay, well then let's go ahead and pull out. We're going to start with, I know you played your Polyjuice Potion game yesterday afternoon. We're going to start with our Polyjuice Potion. So that is a small bag and it says Polyjuice Potion on it. It has a cup of dish soap. Mine is blue, but some of you may have gotten orange or yellow. It doesn't matter what color the dish soap is, but you have one portion cup that has this really gelatinous, ooey gooey dish soap. You have one filled with powder. This one is baking soda. And you have one filled with vinegar, okay? And those are both labeled. So grab, and mine is taped on the top to make sure everything stays in. So I'm going to tear that tape open. All right, looks like I just lost my screen there, Matt. All right, so we've got, oh, did I? Hold up a moment. So if anybody's just rolling on, if you all can hear me, Wizard Academy kit, art supply bag. Can anybody still hear me? I'm not seeing the chat, so if anybody can get.
I can hear you.
Anthony can hear me. All right, thank
Yeah.
you. Okay. Oh, excellent. Thank you. Okay, I got confirmation on audio. Can you all see me or did my video just freeze?
We can see you. I think I can.
We can
Okay.
see you.
They can see and hear. I just can't. That's fine. We can manage. All right. So we've got our Wizard Academy kit, our art supply bag, our cauldron, food coloring, cup of water. You will need that for both of our potions this morning. And then a spoon or popsicle stick to stir with will be handy. Will make it easier, but you've got something in one of your kits, so you can always use that. And your pipette will also make things easier to do our transfer, okay? So if you can always pull out your pipette from Monday. If you haven't used it since, we can use that for this morning's potions. So we were opening our Polyjuice Potion bag. Mine was taped on the top. And I've got a cup of vinegar. I have a portion cup of baking soda. And I have my portion cup of dish soap. So we want to go ahead and get all three items out. Going to set this aside. And
bring back up.
Yes, it is. Thank you. All right. So we are going to start with our eye protection. So I have my glasses on for safety. If you don't have glasses, grab your safety goggles out of your art supply bag. That way, if any of it bubbles up too vigorously, we don't get anything in our eyes. So keep your eyes safe. Grab your safety goggles out of your art supply bag. We are going to start with our cauldron or cup or dish, whatever you're choosing to mix in. And let's do the solid first. Ooh, but a sneeze was coming on there. This is not black pepper. It is just baking soda. Okay, so I lost my screen, but I'm going to keep on going.
I can still see.
The baking soda. All right, there we go, guys. The baking soda. So just know that I can't see you. So if you're trying to get my attention, I can't see the chat at the moment. So it will be okay to use the audio. So here's our baking soda. I'm going to start by adding that to my cauldron. If you're using a cup or bowl, just add that in. So start with the solid. You can pour all of it in, or if you want to have the opportunity to experiment with some of it later, you can hold some back. I know I've got a whole box over there, so I'm gonna use the whole deal. Okay. So baking soda first. Now,
we put all of it.
let's add, you can put all of it in. There you go. And I got my video back. Yay. Okay. So now I'm going to add my dish soap, my ooey gooey dish soap, to my baking soda. And since that is so thick and gooey, I'm going to stir it up well. You can use a spoon. You can use, the next kit that we're going to do is our Colaveria charm that's in a bigger bag with lots of portion cups. That has a big popsicle stick. If you can't find something to stir with, you can grab that. I'm going to go ahead and use this. And I'm going to use the opposite end of my spoon just because it's easier to get down in the cauldron. So I'm going to stir that up. There we go. So we're just getting the baking soda dispersed into the dish soap. So it's a more even mixture because the baking soda was a solid powder.
All of the dish soap.
You can do all of the dish soap, or like I said, if you want to be able to experiment again, you can hold some of it back, Anthony. So if you held some of your baking soda back and you want to be able to try this twice, you can reserve a little of your dish soap too. You don't have to use all of it. Okay. So I just stirred that together so that all the little powdery pieces of baking soda are spread out in the dish soap instead of just being one mound of baking soda under the dish soap. Get a more even incorporation, okay? A more even mixture. So now we know we have baking soda in here. We added dish soap. The next portion cup we have is vinegar. Now we experimented with this a little bit on Monday.
That's not my favorite.
Not your favorite smell, is it, Anthony?
Nope.
So you can hold your nose if you need to, but then we're going to add in, so you can always use food coloring. My dish soap is so brightly colored, I don't feel like I even need it. I'm going to leave it just like this because it's already a really cool color. And then we can add our vinegar into the cauldron and see what happens. So we know we have baking soda in here. We have dish soap. We haven't played with dish soap before. We've done the baking soda, but not the dish soap. Let's see what happens. I'm going to dump all of that in. And I am looking down into my cauldron and I can see it's starting to foam up, and the vinegar that went down in, let's see, made kind of, now I've got it, it's like it brought the baking soda up to the surface. So if you have a clear cup, you might be seeing this better, but it's bringing the baking soda up, and I'm seeing this white frothy substance rise. Let's see if I have time to get this up into the camera so you can see. And I'm watching as it continues. Whoa, I better get back to my table because there we go. Getting ready to make a real mess here. What is happening there, guys? So
why didn't you tell me you need to put a plate under?
Yes, this would have been a good one to put a plate under, or your paper towels under, right? That's what I did the other day. Woo, there we go. I'm gonna slip that under there. And now we're foaming right out of the cauldron. So if you think back to our exploding potions on Monday that happened much more vigorously and quickly, it exploded out of the cauldron right away, right? And that used some of the ingredients that we have here today. So what happened when we mixed the baking soda and the vinegar? So we tried it 2 ways on Monday. First we used citric acid and water, and then we used baking soda, and we tried it with vinegar as well. So here we go. Today we've added dish soap, and dish soap clearly slowed this reaction down. And instead of getting this immediate, oh, I see it rising up in Anthony's cup there. He's got a much bigger cup and it's still rising all the way to the top there. That is excellent. So I've got, now my blue is really coming up. At first I was just seeing the white from the baking soda rise up as all the little solid particles of powder were pushed up. So remember, when baking soda and vinegar combined, we had that very basic baking soda and the very acidic vinegar. When they combine, we get a chemical reaction, and that chemical reaction creates a carbon dioxide gas. So the carbon dioxide gas is what was pushing the baking soda up.
Like the foam is moving.
Like, and if you watch it, it is moving. It's moving more slowly than what we saw on Monday, but it's definitely moving. Now mine is starting to sink back down. I don't know if you all are seeing the same thing, because some of you have started after me, of course. So now my bubbles are, it looks like it's trying to pull back down into the cauldron, as much of that gas has already erupted and escaped. So we caused a physical change here by making a mixture between the mixture of the soap and the baking soda. We mixed that together, so the particles were dispersed, but the baking soda, or if we had added, or the dish soap rather, and if we had added food coloring, would have changed the color. So it changed the physical appearance. Then we had the chemical change. As the acid and base reaction took place and carbon dioxide gas was generated, those gas bubbles pushed the remaining baking soda up to the surface, which gave me a white frothy top. And then the blue started to bubble up from underneath and exploded all over. I had this, overflow out of my cauldron, and I was able to catch it here. So you see some of that blue froth that came out. There we go. Nice bright turquoise there, robin's egg blue. Okay. So I planned ahead with a cup to dump my things into, since I don't have a sink in here. But you guys can always put this into the sink. Yes, Anthony?
I just found my stuff after all this time, and I don't even know the steps now.
Okay, so remember, you can always go back, but this one was pretty simple. So all you need to do is start with your baking soda. Then add, if you're going to use your cauldron, or whatever cup or bowl you're mixing in. Then add your dish soap. And what I recommend is that you stir that up, because otherwise the dish soap will just kind of form a gooey layer on top of your pile of baking soda. You want to get it mixed in well. So you can use a popsicle stick, a spoon, you can use your finger to stir that up if you'd like.
Imaginarium?
Yes.
Imaginarium.
Yes, Anthony?
So I'm using everything in the bucket?
So you can use everything in the bucket. So starting with the baking soda, then the dish soap, stir that up. Okay, once you have that stirred up well, then add your vinegar. And it would be helpful to have a folded up paper towel or napkin underneath, because it will get a little bit messy. But I want you to watch closely. because on Monday when we did our exploding potions, it came exploding out right away. This experiment, by adding the variable of the dish soap, it changed the pace of the reaction. So if I'm frozen for any of you all, I apologize. I'm going to keep going in case it's just an internet connection on one person's end.
You're good, Shelby.
Yes.
You're good.
Okay. All right. Great. And we've got a couple more people trying to join or rejoin. Okay. Excellent. So for those of you just coming in and those of you who had taken a little while to find your things, just a recap. For our polyjuice potion, which was in a small bag in our Wizard Academy kit, we had our dish soap, baking soda, and vinegar. So we grabbed our cauldron, and we're reusing our cauldron from Monday. Every wizard needs a cauldron, right? And we mixed our baking soda and our dish soap in the cauldron and then added the vinegar. So we watched a really cool acid-base reaction in our cauldron and with dish soap this time. So the dish soap coated the baking soda particles, since we got that mixed in, right? What you end up with is the baking soda particles were kind of suspended in the dish soap. And because the dish soap has that thickness, that gooiness to it. So that substance allowed the baking soda particles to just kind of be suspended in the thick liquid. And when we added the vinegar, we got a slower version of the acid-base reactions we were playing with on Monday in Exploding Potions. We used citric acid and water on Monday. We used baking soda and vinegar on Monday as well. So we did a few variations of acid-base reactions, but this time we added this really cool, it's almost like a delay factor by using the dish soap. And so it made this really frothy mixture, and it rose up slowly, pushing the baking soda towards the top first. So we saw this white frothy rise out of the blue mixture, and then it overflowed all over my the table. I'd gotten a napkin in there just in time. So that is recommended for easier cleanup. But there we go. So that's our exploding potion, that's our polyjuice potion rather. So we watched it transfigure there. Oh, let's see.
Mine's
Get
all
all
over,
this.
but it didn't spill, which is a good thing.
Oh, so depending on how much you use, and whoo, this is an ooey gooey mess here. Let's see how much of this I can get out of my cauldron. And then we can do our, actually, or I can just get this mess out of here. We can do, for Colaveria, we can do it in a clear cup instead. That way you guys will be able to see it more easily, since it's hard for me to get my cauldron up to the camera for you all to see it. Let's do this. Okay, so I'm gonna set this aside, and we will need some water. So I'm keeping water to work with. I had an extra cup of water here for me to use as a sink to wash my spoon and everything. So I've got extra here. We'll use this cup for our Colaveria charm. So that this is our next potion. Whew. So we're kind of combining potions and charms today. So I'm going to get this discard out of my way. Get some extra napkins here. And get my empty cups out of here. I don't throw them away because, you know, sometimes they come in handy, but I can always rinse them out. All right, so let's get all this stuff out of the way. And for those of you who came on a little late, your food coloring, if you had that, you could add that to that mixture as well, but not necessarily. The dish soap has color to it, so that was fun, even without adding any. But the next bag we're going to use is the Colaveria bag. And it's full of, let's see, 6 portion cups here. No, 5 portion cups. Oh, no, 6. Okay. Oh, goodness. All right, one of them is empty. I have 5 portion cups with things in them, and I have an empty to work with. So I'm going to get them all out here. And this is the one I said, if you needed something to stir with, you could pull this stick out. Okay.
Does it have lemon juice and everything?
Yes, it does. So you have 2 liquids. The liquids are lemon juice and vinegar. And then you have 3 solids in the form of powders. We have laundry soap, we have baking soda, and we have, this is Jiffy powder, which is a concentrated red cabbage powder. So we have talked a little bit about pH. We've talked about acids and bases the last few weeks, and we are using those again in this charm. So it's always good to reinforce these ideas, especially scientific concepts that may seem a little abstract to us at first. The more we work with them, the more we talk about them, the more we learn about them, the more comfortable we get. And so that's never a bad thing. So I'm going to switch over. My liquids were double bagged to make sure that nothing spilled.
And does your bag have this?
Yeah, so you have, there you go. You have your cabbage juice in the bag. Okay.
I only have this. This is the only thing that came out of my bag.
Those are the only things that are in your bag. So is that, let's see, is that the Colaveria bag?
Yeah, it is.
Okay. All right, Colaveria.
Go.
Excellent. Okay. So I saw laundry soap. You said lemon juice.
Yes.
And then you have the cabbage juice, the indicator in the pipette, it looks like. Okay.
Got it.
In your pipette. And then do you have another cup, Anthony?
This?
Okay, you have an empty one?
Yeah.
Excellent. Do you have one that says baking soda?
No.
No, okay, so I'm gonna set that aside.
But can I use the one that I used for the first
You could if we need it. Let's see, do you have vinegar? We just used baking soda and the vinegar in the last one, but do you have it in this one too?
Yeah.
Yes? Okay. All right. There we go. So we've got lots of variables here. All right, again, we're gonna want, just in case anything is, it creates a vigorous reaction or any splashing, we want to have our eyes protected, so use your safety goggles. You should have those from the Polyjuice Potion, or if you joined us later, just grab them out of your art supply bag.
Where's the art?
I know we used them on Monday. If that was the last time we used them, you might want to see where you put your things from Monday. All right, so I have this, the red powder. If you all have the red powder, then we are adding water to that to make our indicator.
Wait.
Okay.
The right one?
Colaveria.
I don't have the red powder.
Okay, so if you don't have the red powder, because we did this with a couple of groups, if you don't have the red powder, you have a red liquid inside of your pipette.
Yep.
Okay. Do you have
Laundry soap.
Okay. All right. So then the red liquid in your pipette is going to be what I'm stirring up here. Okay. So it's like we made it easier for you and skipped a step there. I had to mix mine, but you guys have yours already mixed. Okay. Let's clean that up. All right. So now we are going to, now I have my indicator because I added my water to my Jiffy powder since mine was still in powder form. So I have that liquid that is our indicator. If you recall from last week, we used universal indicator, and that was the green liquid we used in our pipettes in CSI week. This is another form of an indicator, and this one is made from red cabbage or purple cabbage. And the anthocyanins in the cabbage act as a really awesome pH indicator, and it will tell us if something is an acid or a base, just like the universal indicator we used last week. So if you recall from the books and the movies, the Colaveria charm has to do with color changing, right? So we are going to use the scientific principles of acid-base reactions and indicators such as universal indicator or this red cabbage juice, purple cabbage juice, as an indicator to create some color changes of our own. All right, so if you have, let's see, the laundry soap, and mine is quite full, you can add water to that one as well. Okay, because that is a powder. You're going to want to get it into liquid form, so add some water to that.
Add some water to that full laundry soap?
Add some water to the laundry soap, yes.
All of it, right?
You can do it straight in the cup, or if you want to pour some out into a portion cup or into another cup, you can. I added mine straight in.
I mean, like,
okay.
All of the laundry soap.
Yes, you can.
Okay.
If you want to save some to try it again later, you're welcome to do that too. It's your call. And then you can use your pipette to transfer a little bit of that indicator juice, or yours is already pre-filled, and just put a drop in. So let's see, let's start with the laundry soap. Whoa.
Mix it up, the laundry soap, right?
You guys see that? So I started with, my laundry soap was white. When I added the water, it got a little milky looking. And I added this reddish purple cabbage juice. And what color did I get here? Can you all see that?
Green.
Or what color are you seeing when you add yours?
I got green.
I have a really beautiful blue-green in mine. Yeah, it's really like a greenish blue. It's really pretty.
I got purple.
Excellent. So let's see what happens. Let's test with our other substances. So we have some vinegar, right?
Mm-hmm.
We have some lemon juice.
Mm-hmm.
I have some baking soda, or you might have some left over from the other activity. Okay, I'm gonna add some water to that so I can get it in liquid form. There we go, get it suspended within a liquid. All right, now I'm going to use some more of my indicator and put a drop in and see what happens to my baking soda.
It won't let me like put a drop in
Right.
the laundry soap.
Oh, so if yours was transported in your pipette, remember we have to take the scissors and just snip the end of that pipette off, because we melt the end of the pipette so the liquid doesn't squeeze out of it. So you'll just take your scissors and you snip the very tip off, and then you have an opening. All right. So let's, my lemon juice, Colaveria, My lemon juice turned from yellow to bright red. My baking soda turned bright blue, from white to bright blue. My vinegar, whoa, that looks like a beautiful magenta. So I've got a whole rainbow of colors here, all thanks to acid-base reactions, right? So I've got my indicator to tell me what is an acid, what is a base. And if you remember that chart that we had from CSI, the acids turn more red and the bases turn more blue. So I've got my lemon juice that's a strong acid that turned red. I have my vinegar that's a strong acid that turned red. I have my lemon juice, or my laundry soap rather, my laundry soap, and my what was I using here? This was our baking soda where I added a little bit of water.
What will happen if we mix all of them together?
Well, you can go ahead and check that out. You don't have anything that's going to form any dangerous substances. When you mix it, we were careful to give you things that can be mixed together. So I challenge you for the rest of your potions class to experiment with what you have and see what happens as the acids and bases combine. So I have some baking soda in here. Yeah, so see what happens when you mix
Just the
an
laundry
acid
soap with the lemon juice
into a base.
baking soda.
Check it out.
Yeah,
See what happens.
It turns into
Because
a foam.
your indicator should change color if it changes from an acid to a base. So see what happens there. So let's see. I've got an acid here with the lemon juice. I'm going to, I can do it this way if I want to keep, I can pour a little there. So I have my blue diluted baking soda mixture. I'm going to add a little of my lemon juice. And I got a purplish mixture here. Look at that.
Miss,
Let's see if I add the laundry soap.
Yeah.
Woo!
it turns into like a foam.
There we go. It's even more purple now that I added more base into that. Okay.
Wait, do I pour water over the vinegar and then just do the same thing?
You don't need to pour water over the vinegar since it's already a liquid. We were using the water to help the things that were a solid take the indicator better, read the indicator better. So you don't have to use water with your vinegar. But know that water isn't going to mess any of it up because water is pH neutral. Okay?
Look at this.
It's neither an acid nor a base. So which things do you think you mixed together, Anthony, to make that?
I mixed laundry detergent with lemon juice and
With the lemon juice?
vinegar. Yeah, and
And
vinegar.
vinegar.
Made a foam.
Look at that. So the laundry detergent is a soap. It's a
And baking
surfactant
soda.
like the dish soap was, right? So that's what gives us bubbles in our when we're washing dishes or when we're washing clothes. And it gave you some really nice bubbles there, didn't it? Very nice.
Yeah.
All right. So all of these are safe for you guys to play with and experiment. So feel free to continue your potions explorations. And remember that we were looking at acids and bases. And so we know that lemon juice and vinegar are both acids. We know that the laundry soap was more basic and the baking soda was a very strong base. Okay. So you've got some fun things to play with there. You can use your pipettes. You can mix some of this in your cauldron and see. So the mixture that you made there, look at that. That foaming right out of your cauldron, just like when we did the dish soap with the acid-base reaction.
I put more vinegar and it came out.
You did.
Yeah.
And then if you remember from our exploding potions, we also learned some other some other words there. We talked about exothermic and endothermic reactions, right? So Anthony, touch the base of your cup, and anyone else who's doing this, feel the base of your cup and observe whether you're feeling heat or whether it feels as if the heat is being removed as a part of the reaction and it's starting to feel chilled. Okay, because our exploding potions was an endothermic reaction. We had a cold cauldron left behind, even though everything we were working with was warm. Very cool.
I'm gonna add more vinegar so you guys can see how it reacts.
So Emily, when you rolled in, so we did potions class this morning. We started with our polyjuice potion. You played the polyjuice potion game with your teachers yesterday. And so this morning we started off with the polyjuice potion. And we mixed that in our cauldron. So that was the baking soda, dish soap, and vinegar. So we mixed those all in our cauldron, starting with the baking soda. Then we added the vinegar we added the baking soda and then we added the dish soap. And we stirred that up to make sure that the dish soap and the baking soda mixed well, because that one was a little tricky to mix. The dish soap would like to just kind of float on top and leave the baking soda underneath. So you need to actually do some work to mix that up and then add your vinegar and see what happens. You can even add food coloring to your vinegar if you want and see what happens when you mix it. Then we moved on to Colovaria, which is our color changing charm. And we used some of what we've learned about acids and bases to play with some acid, stronger acid, weaker acid, stronger base and weaker base substance. And we used our pH indicator. We were using the red cabbage juice to check and change the color of the substances we were working with. So our yellow lemon juice, when we added the indicator, and mine is a really deep purple because I had a lot of the cabbage juice in here, went to this bright pinkish red, and the vinegar went to a really intense magenta. The laundry soap formed a green. Now it's looking more yellow here. And our baking soda was a deep blue. Remember the acid-base spectrum when we're using indicators, the pH papers will read more red for an acid and blue for a base. And so we saw that spectrum here for our Colovaria charm. And then I gave you guys free reign. So what you get to do now is experiment with your potions because you have quite a bit to play with. And these are all safe to mix together. We have not given you anything today that when combined can form any harmful substances or off-gassing. So you guys are safe to play with those and see how you can change color back and forth.
Look at this, Miss. It's going to turn to foam.
So Anthony's having lots of fun with his dish soap, getting lots of foamy bubbles going right over. Very nice. And so you guys can mix these back and forth and watch the color change as you add more acids or bases. So that's why you have an empty portion cup. That was not a mistake. That was to give you something to work in where you can still see the color change happening, because you may see one color at the surface, and if you look from the side, you can see much more. Okay? All right, so today we've got, looks like we are just going right to, you get together with your teachers. Oh no, 1 o'clock. 1 o'clock. So you guys have a break here for a bit. So you have plenty of time to experiment with your potions. And at 1 o'clock, we are joining our education team to do Care of Magical Creatures. And you'll get to meet some of the magical creatures we that call the IMAG their home. So you'll meet several of those at 1 o'clock today when you guys tune back in. And then you'll join your teachers at 1:30. So you have some time to experiment with your potions. We were, Emily, using our cauldron from Monday. So you can grab that, or you can just use the cups that you have, because we've got enough to work with. Something to stir with is handy. So you had a popsicle stick or tongue depressor in your Colaveria bag. You can always use that, or grab a spoon. I've been keeping mine handy just because I like having it there. It makes it easier than getting my hands messy when we're doing all this. And you needed some water, okay? So remember, this was recorded. For anybody that rolled in late, you guys can go back, restart the video, and do these right along with me all over again, okay? I hope everybody had fun this morning.
Okay.
Really quick, guys. This afternoon, we aren't allowed to do a Friday session. So anything on Friday that they have us doing for you with teachers, we're going to do today. So we're going to do Thursday and Friday lessons. So a lot of you were asking about like the mandrake cake. We're going to do that today. And then I think the Mentos, anything that Imaginarium is doing on theirs, we won't do, because I know you guys can log in with them on Friday. But anything that they ask us to do on Friday, we have to get done today. I double checked and they said no Friday class for us. So
so what I have on my schedule for Friday, let's just verify this.
Miss G.
Okay, so it looks like I've got the mandrake cakes and the butterbeer Mentos. We are planning on doing with them in the morning, so I don't think you need to worry about that. And then Engorgio and Reducio, we're doing those charms tomorrow.
okay, perfect. So then we'll take whatever is left and we'll make sure that we get that done today. So today's session might run a little later, guys. We won't start until 1:30, so you have plenty of time to stay in the Meet the Magical Keeper. That's in our Google Classroom, that same link for the extra Meet the Keeper things. And so other than that, take attendance and we should be good.
Miss G.
Yes.
My mom told me that when is gonna be like the last day that we're gonna return the computers? Like, when are we gonna?
Oh, you're a 5th grader, so your computer needs to be turned in on the 27th.
Of July?
Yes, that's this month, 27th. It's this.
What? That fast? That fast?
All right, so any other questions we can ask during our session, guys? But I'm going to go ahead and let Imaginarium go. Good job, Imaginarium. Thank you so much.
Let me do a time correction then, if you all don't mind. So it looks like the Zoom call, the Care of Magical Creatures, looks like on the schedule that you all have is 11 a.m. Does that add up for you? So it was 1 o'clock on this one, but I'm seeing 11 a.m. on the most current version. So
whenever, we normally just wait for you to tell us. So
let's tune in at 11 for Magical Creatures, and I'll confirm with our team. We'll be ready to have you all. We'll get do Care of Magical Creatures at 11 a.m. and then you're on with your teacher at 1:30. Okay.
Perfect. Did everyone hear that? 11 o'clock, Meet the Magical Creatures. Okay, 11 o'clock.
All right.
See you guys
Excellent.
soon.
Thank you all. Have fun with your potions. Bye, guys.